going back to the men who are making the race right now, as our lead group looks like things have stabilized. Good for Yannick Ekman now, finding his rhythm once again. The tacks look like they've backed off just a little bit. There was a real flurry of them going back about 10 minutes ago. Well, now Brandon Dwight has given up the lead to Jake Wells, coming down from Vail, one of the hardest working men in the sport. Very well-liked rider as well. The Colorado scene has just been brilliant this year with rider participation and cooperation, but Jake Wells now hitting out. And that is a massive hit out there, because you can see through this section, John Baker looks better now. He also looks like he's starting to come good in this race. Let's see if he can keep his bike together today as we take a look at first through Brandon Dwight, Jake Wells, Matt Pasoka, Yannick Ekman still in there, still throwing punches. Gotta love this kid. And John Baker can't be on a good day today, or he would not have been sitting back there, because every time a rider gets gapped, like it looks like might be happening with Ekman right now, he's going to have to come around and shut that. You can only do that so many times here in this 1 hour and 1 lap of racing. Kurt Refsnyder's chasing up to this group, the Fort rider. Great job by Kurt there. He doesn't look like he's made it into this group. Nope, that's our leaders coming through. Still 5 strong. You know, it's rare this year in Colorado that we see a group this big, this late in the race, as we're making our way through the middle section right about now, as it is a timed race for the most part, as we mentioned. 1 hour of racing for the men. We take a look now at some of the other younger riders coming through. Brandon Dwight, that's the very front of the bike race now. So we have cut back to our leaders, and that's a dig. No question about it coming from Dwight, as Brandon is the reigning Masters national champion with a hyper competitive category. He and Pasoka, along with Jake Wells, have been pushing each other all year. Now it starts to get confusing, because already you're seeing lap traffic because of riders who've had a mechanical. That's the way to ride the pit. So Pasoka that time, though, not giving up that position. Jake Wells is right there, though. Behind Wells, it looks like Baker must have had some kind of a problem. Okay, Dwight's having a problem with his seat today as well. We've heard John Baker has broken a chain on the backside of the course. We know he's had a flat tire problem. That's our leader, Matt Pasoka, now on the gas. This is full throttle. At this part of the race, these guys are just all out ballistic. We saw Dwight put in an attack, that attack being countered. Looks like Baker now has found himself in a spot of bother. That's the section we were talking about being tricky. All the mounts and dismounts today, tough on the saddles and seat posts, and Brandon Dwight clearly a little bit upset. That's one of the nicest guys you will ever meet in the sport. So Brandon showing you how competitive it can be out here, as we're now looking at Baker, guy who's really, we talked the early part of this race about the experience he's had. Baker knows how this sport works, as he's spent time over in Europe, and that clearly makes a difference. You know, really the Belgium right now, one of the strongest countries in the world for cyclocross. But how about Colorado? All the national champions we've created. Racing has been fantastic, and once again we've got a battle royale today. This looks like this could be our podium in the making right now. That is Pasoka on the front. That area is Matt Pasoka of Velo News. Jake Wells responding to that attack. John Baker trying to come back to that group after a couple mechanicals today. It's going to be tough. Brandon Dwight is now coming back from obviously a pitting. He had to go in to take care of the saddle. Now that looks like Chuck Coyle up here. There's your leaderboard, and that's got it in order correctly. Jake Wells, that's the Mafia Racing, man. Another one of Colorado's premier teams. Great group of guys, have a lot of fun with the sport. Now Brandon Dwight's got his work cut out for him. Dwight's gonna end up on the podium today. He's gonna have to go super. Another great crowd day for racing as we take a look. You can even see the gear changing going on there, setting things up. It looks like to come out of that corner. So Jake Wells has really mastered some of the technical aspects of cross racing here as well. But he is going to have to turn himself inside out to hold on to that man today, because Pasoka looks like he's put it all together once again. Winningest rider 2008, trying to cap it off with the Cyclocross Championship. That is not Jake Wells getting past. That's Spencer Powell coming back from his mechanical. They're getting out of the way of the freight train that was Brandon Dwight. His teammate now you're seeing up there on the front, that being Jake Wells. And the group now, it's every man for himself, it looks like at this point. Christian McCarthy has come good today, another stalwart on the Colorado scene. Lead group of 3 is together. Brandon Dwight, can you believe this? Dwight just unreal, getting back up to that group. So 3 riders of the apocalypse right now on the front of the bike race. Who wants it more? That's what it's going to come down to. Matt Pasoka certainly hyper motivated today. Jake Wells just deserves a win like this, no question. And picking up the front of the bike race. We'll be back with more in just a moment. It's Pasoka, Wells, and Brandon Dwight. Who wants it more?